sometimes the things in D&D that really look obvious, or at least in my case, I forget about them. All the details. Like today's topic is going to be being prone. And it sounds obvious, no? Like it's one of the basic things of the game, yet I realize it's not. Like in one of the Critical Role episodes, someone just said, "Oh, but I'm prone, so I have a disadvantage on the attack roll." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember something like that, but I would so totally forget if I would be running that game." So I started looking into being prone, and what I realized is why it's tricky a bit is because in the player's handbook in 5th edition, the player's handbook, it's broken into two parts actually. So you find a part that says, "Oh, prone. Oh, great. I read it all and now I know everything about being prone." No, there is another part. So one part is in the chapter 9 in combat under movement and position and then being prone. And the other part is in Appendix A, conditions, prone. So let's just quickly check what the specifics are, because it was really good for me to refresh this. So there is this a state of being prone. You can drop prone without using any of your speed. That makes sense. Like you decide to collapse, you could collapse or just fall prone behind the table to get some cover or something like that. Then standing up costs you half amount of your movement. I mean, the wording here is actually, I think it's pretty important. It says half your speed. I need to look that up, but I think it means if you have any modifiers, it will still to make your speed, well, to make your speed more or less. Anyway, if you know the answer, comment below. I will look this up as well. So it's half your speed, and you can stand up if you don't have enough movement. That's okay. And the only type of movement is to crawl, which costs double the distance traveled, or some magical means of traveling like teleportation. So the last information on this page, and this is chapter 9 combat, is that crawling on difficult terrain costs 1 feet of crawling on difficult terrain costs 3 feet of movement. So it's not like half or double the amount and then double the amount again, but it's 3 times the amount. I would have never remembered that if you would have asked that straight away out of the blue. And now you still don't know everything about it. You need to go over to Appendix A and then check out the things there to get the whole picture. There is some repetition here, like your only movement option is to crawl or stand up. And actually here it doesn't mention magic. And here is the rest. The creature has disadvantage on attack rolls, and this is what they were referring to. And this is what I remembered slightly, but would have never remembered by myself. And then it says an attack roll against the creature has advantage if the attacker is within 5 feet of the creature. And that makes sense. It says otherwise the attack roll has disadvantage. And it makes sense for me because if you're standing, you're a pretty nice target. If you're laying on the ground, and someone is further away from you, then you are much more flat and thus smaller target. But if they are close and you are helpless on the ground, of course they have advantage. So yeah, sometimes what seems to be so obvious that you don't even check again in the rules, sometimes those are the trickiest ones. For me, at least, it's the case. Because, for example, this one was broken into two parts, and there are so many sub items of this rule that it's hard to remember. Of course, your DM screen will help. And I'm using a DM screen created by someone. In another video, I will talk about my experiences with them. Stan Shin, I found it, Stan Shin, and it's a great one. But the information even there is broken into these two parts, like the condition and the combat movement parts. So it's tricky. This one is especially tricky, and I would suggest to myself as well to use this. I don't know. It comes from one of the Eastern cultures. This beginner mindset that even though you've been doing this for a long time, expect that sometimes you forget some things, or the first time you learn the basics, maybe you were not paying attention to the exact words, like as I mentioned here in the prone thing. I think if we start complicating things and combining things, these words really do matter. That it says standing up costs half of your speed, and I don't find easily now another example, but this is what I mean. And some hidden lost lines that you were already full of information, your mind didn't process. Like for me, this crawling 1 foot in difficult terrain costs 3 feet of movement. So I would really suggest, and to myself, this is a note to self as well, to use the beginner's mindset. And well, I am a beginner, but like, I just learn a lot and in a fast pace and in large amounts, but I am a beginner. Practice that beginner mindset. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Peter. Mostly I create these videos for my own learning, but if you find them useful, I'm really glad. You will find a whole bunch of other videos on the channel. And I would love to hear your feedback, your experiences, and maybe you know something that I missed or I confused. I'm absolutely open to hearing those. So thank you so much for watching and have a lovely day. Bye bye.